Alright boys, what's up? Thank you for coming in today's YouTube video. So today, what we're gonna be doing is, probably like 2 weeks ago we did some YouTube show asking you guys what kind of question you guys have for us. So, and we got about 60 comments, so we're gonna take, me and Mike right now, gonna take a look at it and see what the question was. So, you ready, Mike?
Yep.
Alright, so there's so many of them in here, so we're gonna see what kind of question out there. Alright, well, first one they got, what's your social security number? So that we are not gonna answer. But so next question is drifting easy? So that's like a lot of people ask, I think. But what do you think? I mean, you don't drift yet, so what do you think? Is drifting easy?
Is drifting easy? That is a very, very interesting question.
It is very interesting question.
Especially since I only do sims. It's not, I don't do real drifting whatsoever, so I can't really experience it. But I'd say after a while of doing a couple events, trying out, probably after like an hour or two of seat time, you might consider it a little bit easy, but I feel like it's difficult starting off.
Yeah, so yeah, after I'm doing this for almost 6 years, I can say drifting is easy. You know, I think the car gotta be set up really perfect for you to do it. Like if you don't have right setup, it's just not gonna drift. Like the car gonna fight with you, right? Or at starting out, you don't even know anything. Like you don't know the clutch kick, or you don't even know how to donut, how to figure eight. I think, and then do the initiation, like how to start drifting, how to transition. I think that's like the couple steps that you gotta take. And then once you get to that, I think, yeah, it's pretty easy. And then you go to the next level, right? Like, you know, you wanna be chasing people, you wanna leading people, and you don't wanna be really spinning out in front of people because that's gonna be causing accident and stuff like that. But end of the day, I still do this today because it's very fun for me. So eventually I want to do competing and whatnot, but you know. So again, is drifting easy? It could be. It's very expensive hobby, so you know, if you set up the car right, and you know, so main thing you gotta do on this is seat time. Pick your car, go drive. You know, go drive and just put your seat time. I think that's the real answer for this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And next question we got. Is it hot inside the car? Yeah, it depends, right? Obviously. If you do it on winter, it's gonna be cold-ish at first. Then once you're driving it, you get warm. On summer, if you don't have AC, oh man, it's hot. It's out there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's definitely hot in there.
And it depends what car too. Sometimes people have gutted it like interiors and the heat comes out faster. And some people have still the normal stock interior, so it's really hot inside there. Especially when they got an LEC, it is terrible.
Yeah, so this one is my S15 you guys see me drifted. I kept AC on this one. My Skyline didn't. So every time it was so hot. That Skyline, I had AC working before, but I took it out. I don't know why. You know, I'm like, it's a drift car, you don't need AC. No, I wish I kept it. But for this one, I landed from it, I kept AC, but when you're going high RPM, like while actually drifting, you don't, well, I don't know, my car just shuts it off AC, but you don't want it on anyway. So like while waiting on the grid or stuff like that, you can use AC, but while drifting, I don't really recommend it. But again, to the question, yes, it gets really hot in summer. Very hot. Alright, what do we got? What's your alignment? That's what he said, right? So it depends. I would say I'm not like really picky with that much alignments. People that I look up to, like Nakamura Naoki, he said in one of the video, put the front camber as much as possible. You know, and so being said, my front camber, I think I have like -7 or 8 right now. And obviously, he said if you can put more, that's gonna be better. But again, depends on where you drive, right? And in the back, obviously, you don't want camber in the back because it's gonna wear so much tires, right? We burn the tires, so you want to be zero everything on the back. That's my opinion. I'm not pro level yet, so you know, maybe you can put a little more towing so you can like have a forward bike and stuff like that. I don't know much about that yet. But if you're asking me for advice, front, put as much as camber as possible. It's just probably easier when you freak hard and stuff like that. I like my setup, it drives really good. So I'm a -8 and I use 17-inch wheels and 18 in the back. -8 on the front, 0 everything in the back. That's pretty much it on the alignments. Alright. This is another good one. How much do you pay for tires yearly? That's a good one.
Ooh, that is a
but,
good one.
But honestly, a lot. Right? A lot. Depend on your horsepower. Depend on the car. Right? If you have like obviously 1,000 horsepower, you're gonna be like do 10 laps and your tire is done. Right? So depend on what you do, right? And what kind of car you have. But this year so far, I haven't really drifted a lot this year. But like 2 years ago when I was really like doing like almost 2 events or 3 events a month, that's when I used a lot of tires. I probably used like 40 tires on that year, and each tire is like probably 150. So you can do the math there. But so yeah, that's pretty expensive. It gets up there quick, especially if you more better driver you are. You're gonna drive more, and it depends on how much car braking too. If you're not driving, obviously you don't use tires much. But if you keep driving out there, tires go up. But if you're having fun, I think it's okay, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, if you watched our Japan video where we were drifting at Bahoku, there was a clip that we were only 15 minutes on the track and we already shredded like a set of tires in there. So that's already what, like $400, $300
Yeah. So
gone.
like last week, I actually went to spectate one of the competition, and at the end of the day, they do like a free lap or whatever. I'm like, I'm going to watch. I'm not driving. But I went with one of my friends who competed, and he got me hyped, you know. So I ended up doing some lap with them, and unfortunately my brand new tire is now toasted. So man, this weekend we're gonna be driving, and I don't got much tire left, but that's the story to the tires. So how much do you pay on tires? Again, depends on how much you drive, but it could get really expensive. Some of them say, what should I eat? I'm like, that, you know. This one is a good one. What do you think about drift tax? I think it's a lot. Like back then, I wish we all wish, this JDM scene now is getting super expensive. We wish we started earlier. But again, if we can't go back to before, so if you want to keep doing what we want to do, we gotta pay the price, unfortunately. But drift tax, definitely expensive now.
Very expensive now.
But they make a lot of good parts too, so that's like, so when I started drifting on Skyline, which was 5 years ago, or 6 now, they didn't make anything for R34. So I was fighting, like, I was trying to use the S chassis parts, don't fit. I buy again, don't fit. Wasting a lot of money there, and time, trying to figure it out. But now they do make a lot of stuff for the R34, and a lot of people started to drift, so that's good to see, What's one car and brand you'd never drift?
What's one car brand new?
Yeah, what car would you not drift? I don't know, that's a good question.
Any front-wheel drive car.
Well, yeah, because,
obviously
it's front-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive car is not meant for drifting. I'm not saying, you can't drift, people do. People make it rear-wheel drive and do it. But I think we're talking about in rear-wheel drive on this situation. Like, what car would you not?
That is a good question.
I don't know. Like, I'm willing to try everything. If I had opportunity to do so, what would that be? I'm not sure. That's a good one. Like, if someone give me a key to like Mustang, I would try. Why not? Just try them out. But what would that be? Well, I'm gonna think. What would that be for you?
I'm gonna go with the Mark V Supra. just
Okay.
because most of the components are BMW like related. It doesn't mean that they're terrible. I just feel like there's more point of failure for a Mark V to drift. And also, it's not a manual transmission. Most of the new cars are not manual transmission now.
Well, that's like saying, you know, like, I don't know, like R35 is a good chassis to drift. I don't know. I've never done it before.
Exactly,
You know?
yeah.
But, so yeah, that's kind of hard to discuss. But I don't know, I still don't have the answer to it yet. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of car I would drift. Honestly, I would drift everything. If someone give me a key, I would try it out. So, I guess the answer to that is I don't have one. So, this is a good one too. Is drifting a talent-based skill or something anyone can learn? Yes, anyone can learn. Like it's like, you know, it's like saying, like, you know, when you're a kid, you don't know how to drift or how to drive. How did you learn?
Exactly.
Right? You wanted to be driver, so you practice, right? Same thing as drifting. You want to be doing this, you make your car, pick your car, go drive out there and see if you like it. Worst case, sell the car, call it a day. I think.
Yeah.
How do you initiate drifting? Not that I would try. So there's two ways of basically initiating: clutch kick or e-brake actually. So that's two things that you can do.
Alright, how about this one?
Yeah.
What's a good way to start drifting?
What's a good way to start of drifting? Okay. Good way is honestly do as much as research you can. Just because, you know, money is a problem for us. I'm sorry, you know, nobody's made out of money. Money is definitely a problem. So honestly, watch YouTube or watch anything you want. Find a car you want to drift on. Like, so when I started doing Skyline, right, I bought Nissan 240SX, cheap as possible basically, just to see if I wanted to even like what I do. Then I end up investing down and then, you know, I'm doing the Skyline because I like what I do. But there's a two things I can say. Skyline is, that for the Skyline R34 is not, you don't see many people drifting for a reason. You know, not really a best chassis to drift on. Can you drift it? Yes, you can drift it. But if you like, you know, thinking about expensive parts, yeah, it's hard to find the parts on Skyline R34. You know, so like you find, you know, you gotta find your line, right? If you wanna be cheap as possible, yeah, you probably don't want a turbo car, you know, because it's just more problem. And you know, maybe Nissan 350Z is probably the best of back today you can probably buy, or like FRS, BRZ. Is it gonna be really fun? I don't know, maybe it's fun for you, maybe you find it boring because it's very slow. That's really up to you guys, you know. Right now, I like drift on cool cars, so I decided to do this in the Skyline. But that's really up to you guys on that one.
How much horsepower is required minimum to drift a rear-wheel drive car?
I don't think there's a minimum on that one. What do you think of? Because how much does the Miata make on the, you know, the stock?
The Miata's like what, 98 horsepower or
Yeah,
about
so-
like 100 horsepower?
So
it
honestly,
really-
if your car is rear-wheel drive, and you know you can drift, right?
basically, yeah.
Is it gonna be easy? I'm not saying it's easy. I never drifted a stock Miata, so I don't know. People does it. So minimum, as long as it's rear-wheel drive car, you should be able to do. But is it gonna be hard or easy? That's a different question.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the answer to that is any horsepower as long as it's rear-wheel drive. Oh, okay. So the question for this one is, what is the best game to do a sim to learn drifting in real life? The answer to that, I have no answer to that because I don't never sim in my life. So
Now, I sim a lot, so I have a little bit more bias towards that question in terms of what game I use. Now, a lot of people prefer using like VMB Drive sometimes and other games that are more drifting oriented like CarX, but I think physics-wise, which is like the best game to start learning on, is Assetto Corsa. It's already got a big community of people, and there's a lot of mods and people that already understand basic physics of drifting. So you'll get into Assetto Corsa, and then you'll have a bunch of people to play with that can teach you how to drive that already drift. That's the best part about Assetto. So I think the answer to that question is the best sim is Assetto Corsa, just because there's such a big community that drifters actually drift in and learn off that before they go on track.
That's a good one. So, I would like to get into it one day too, especially on winter, like around here where we live, winter, it's just off season for us. So maybe, if my project is kind of slow down, maybe something we think about this year. Alright, so next question we got, what is the most favorite drift car, or what's the best car to drift car, or what's the best car to drift? That really depends on what you guys think, seriously. For me, after I did 6 years, which is very minimum drifting, I think S chassis is really simple and easiest to learn on this one. And a lot of people drift 240SX, S13, S14, S15 for reason, because it's easy to find parts and everybody does it. They do it for a reason.
Exactly.
So that's what I think it is. Now, is it cheap? It's definitely not cheap. Is it very expensive? It could get very expensive. So depends on obviously what you want to do, right? You want to make a 1,000 horsepower car? Yeah, it's gonna be expensive. You want to be stock KA car? Probably cheaper. But I'm not saying it's So answer to that, in my opinion. So after I drifted in Japan, I really liked the way the S chassis in Japan drove. I did very minimum to that car, and it really worked well on the S13 that we drifted in Japan. So one day, hopefully, I get to buy a Silvia Coupe S13 in America to build one. So that's kind of like that level. So we're gonna do one last question. This guy wrote like 4 questions. How often does your bumper fall? Believe it or not, my bumper doesn't really fall out. And honestly, I don't think my bumper ever fell off. Because some people mount it. I don't know how people every lap they coming off. I think people just zip ties it. I actually bought my bumpers on, so it literally never came off before. Like I broke front bumper good on that S15. It was just missing the front, but the bumper never came off. On that R34, I actually hit something in the back before. It didn't came off. It was just dragging on the floor. So I don't know how people's bumper keep coming out, but that's maybe because people doesn't really mount it right, zip ties it only. So yeah, answer to that is my bumper doesn't really fall out. So hopefully keep doing that. I don't want it to fall out. Hate doing body work. So that's that. How often do you change tires? So this S15, honestly, every hour and hour 30, I change tires. But again, depends, right? If you keep hot lapping it, then you probably can do a little more. But if I'm hot lapping it, it could be less than an hour and a half, honestly. Because this one we did it and nobody was driving on Friday, it probably killed it in an hour or less, honestly. How much to make a drift car? That could be anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
100%.
could. You can literally buy a stock Z for good price. Need engine or something for $2,000. Put engine, well the depth, suspension, and go. So could be as cheap as whatever the deal you can find. Maybe $5,000. You can start drifting. Or could be like this, and you can do a SL22 full build engine, full paint job, full suspension, and big money. So the next question is, again, he said the same thing. What is the best drift car? Which I answered earlier. So that's it for the answer to the question. There's more people answer, but unfortunately we can talk about it all day, so I'm gonna cut it for that. What do you think about all the questions people ask? I think it's pretty good question, honestly.
I think they were pretty good. I mean, there was a couple of them that I was like,
Yeah, they're trolling, but
Yeah.
but that's what YouTube is about. But anyway, today, thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me a subscribe and let me know what do you guys think about it on the comment. And see you guys on next video.